Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. With me today is Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And special guest today, Justin Boyer.
Hello.
And holy smokes, I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but the intro sounded a little different today. Justin decided to bring along his guitar and play a little bit with the intro. And that's a first for us here at the Berg Podcast. We've never had a musical accompaniment. Did I say that right? Accompaniment?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. First ever on the Berg Podcast. So not only is it Justin's first visit here with us, but we are setting trends. We're going to actually have to ask our future guests to come and be prepared to do something almost like a little bit of a talent show. So
I like it.
Yeah. So we've got some future guests lined up. We've got to give them a little bit of a heads up and say, hey, we didn't know this, but there's a talent component to the podcast. We'd like to have you do something special, like play the guitar. So
sounds good.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that along. I appreciate that. That was fun.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, nobody knew that was going to happen. This morning, I just was like, what would be really cool is if Justin played the guitar on the podcast, and then Brian was out, had a meeting, and then I had a meeting. We didn't cross paths. So Brian found out about the same time, probably he saw Justin's guitar, or I brought it up. That's when Brian found out I was going to run loose right out of the gate with this. But
yeah,
for me, it's an interesting angle to look at because, we see everybody do what they do. I mean, you see Justin in the Traco, that's where we expect him to be, or in Dozer, but there's a lot of other facets to who is Justin.
Yeah, Justin walked in and he said, hey, I left my guitar in my truck. Is that okay? And I thought, oh, well, that's an interesting question. No one ever asked me if they should bring their instruments in.
I was hoping to get out of it.
And he also brought live music. So I don't know. I might have to steal that CD. Maybe we'll add some live music tracks into the interview.
My original plan was to go with Justin answering the questions in song form, which I think would be hilarious. That could be another podcast at some point, Justin playing live music to answer the questions.
Yeah. And this is fun, right? So, cause Justin, I know Justin to be a pretty creative person to begin with. He's got some creative hobbies. I knew music was one of them, but photography being another one.
Yes.
And we don't get to see this side of people very often. So yeah, fun. So anyways, today we're off track already. I didn't even say what this is about.
Yeah, we didn't even say what it's about.
Yeah. But anyways, today we asked Justin to come in. We're going to take a little bit of time getting to know Justin. Justin's been with the company. How long now, Justin?
Next month, it'll be 9 years.
9 years. So one
Yes,
of
sir.
our longer tenured employees. I know Joe G just passed.
He just passed
10. Yeah. So Justin, you might be right behind him. Is there anyone in between Joe and Justin?
Well, I'm between Joe and Justin.
Oh, all right.
But I don't count.
Yeah. Well, no, you certainly count.
No,
I didn't mean to discount you.
Yeah, he discounted me.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows don't discount Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 9 years, that's a heck of a long time. We're a relatively young company, and we have some folks who have been here a long time, but not a ton, because we started out so small and then had some like big bursts of growth. So actually this might be fun. Maybe we can ask Justin some stories from the earlier years of Berg
What do you want to know?
Construction. Yeah. What do you got? What's a fond memory from the early Berg Construction?
Well, one of my fondest memories was when I first started here. I was working with a couple guys, and it was a residential job, and they had a zip line in the backyard, and this was pretty much a condemned house that we were redoing around the landscaping and everything. And
Wait, we were redoing the landscaping for a condemned house?
Well, it looked like a condemned house to me. They were doing an addition, and we were doing all the site work. That's to be clear.
I got you.
And me and another crazy employee at the time decided to do the zip line, and there's a YouTube video of it somewhere. I'm not sure where, but it's on there.
We all know where that would reside. We're not supposed to talk about it.
Wait, there's a Snapchat channel that used to exist that had some of these videos. Yeah. Anyways,
So that's one of my earlier memories. With some of the guys from the beginning. I miss some of those guys. Back in the day. But we had a lot of fun.
so you've had quite a transition here from when you started with Berg to where you're at now. Let's talk about that just a little bit.
Okay.
Right? So I'm thinking 9 years ago, we probably didn't have job descriptions. So you were probably hired just because Ford needed somebody, right? You had a relationship with Ford before Berg
Correct.
Construction? Yeah,
Correct.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So when Ford called you and said, hey, and you want a job, what'd that sound like?
Well, he had called me a year before I actually called him back and said, "Yeah, I'm willing to make the change from the job I was at to come over here." Um, yeah, he just needed some guys, and I had no clue what I was getting into. I was like, you know, I've done construction my whole life, high school, framing houses, out of high school, electrical work, you know, and it was pretty humbling when I came here because I was like, I can do this stuff, and I had no clue what Ford was doing here. I
What
had
the
no
stuff
clue.
was.
Yeah, I didn't even know what his construction company was. In all honesty, because I was just oblivious, and I was like, well, there's some machinery. I've run machinery before. No, that was like a whole different level of running machinery when I came here.
And did you just got thrown straight to the fire, right into a machine?
No, I just wherever I was needed labor wise, I was ready to help out. I thought I was old back then, and yeah, so that's what I did. I wherever he needed me, helping guys do pipe or paving. Always had a shovel in my hand, rake, whatever. Wherever I was needed.
So a little bit of laboring. When did you go mostly to operating machinery?
Well, I wasn't hesitant to get in a piece of equipment when somebody got out. For instance, on the Big Dig where we started, where it was one of my first jobs up at Conestoga Landfill. Anytime the popular hoe operator got out to go to the bathroom, I jumped in and tried learning that way. So it was fairly early on that I did get some operating experience. But I think where the trial by fire came and I really learned how to run equipment was when Dan put me down at a local quarry, granite mine, and we were moving rock for them down there, and that was a big deal. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I did when I went there, but I didn't. And just climbing on rock and pulling over 30-foot high granite walls and running away the opposite way with the machine, and yeah, I don't know if I.
This all sounds safe, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It all sounds safe.
It was very safe. I was just scared. I guess.
We don't normally edit the
sorry.
podcast for content, but maybe first time with music. First time.
I haven't heard any like clear OSHA violations yet, so
No.
we're okay so far.
Well, you know what? Ironically, I remember a funny story with Justin. Is we were at the Big Dig, and that was like our main focus. I mean, we were, I don't know, maybe 12 guys, 15 guys at that point. We had started to grow, but not a lot. And so I would come up and check on the job, and I'd drive up, and I thought that the excavator was running a little slow. It was the old 336, and I thought it was running a little slower than it looked like normal. I was like, maybe we're just being careful. And so I went to find out why it was running slower, and here it was Justin. The operator had jumped out, and Justin was like learning how to operate it. And so I went from like being going to be critical that like, why is this track hoe running so slow, to realizing that it's running slow because Justin's trying to figure out how to run the track hoe. So I don't know if you remember that, but I remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so I came up and I was like, why is this? Oh, it's Justin.
Get him out now.
No,
we're trying to get production here.
But it was that's where we were at that point. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It changed with us putting people in equipment sooner, later in the company's development. But early on, guys got in, but there was only so much equipment. We didn't have tons of equipment on the job. Before that, we had done all that work. If you remember, Justin, were you there when we did the treatment plant?
In Elverson?
No, when we did at Conestoga. Were you?
I helped out a little bit doing
okay,
the
on
pipe
the tail
work
end
there.
of that. So that one,
Yeah.
like famously with that one, Ford and I, we told everybody we were going to do it with a 321, and we moved, I don't know, 100,000 yards or something ridiculous with the 321. So a track hoe with no tail on it in rock. It beat the machine up pretty good. But that's where we were as a company. And that's how long ago Justin was there. And I mean, like the zip line story, you know what I mean? Like that's that kind of stuff. There was a lot of that at that point where we were still figuring it out. And it made it a lot of fun. But, as we got bigger, certain things you can't get away with anymore, and it had to change. And Justin's one of the people that Ford and I and Brian talk about it sometimes when we say like that we're able to survive our growth, and that doesn't just mean able to be here. It also meant Justin was able to operate in an environment where it's okay to jump on a zip line that you don't know if it's stable at someone's house. And then, and operate in an environment where we are today when Justin's filling out all kinds of paperwork and safety scoops and doing clue, you know what I mean? That's a big delta of change that he's seen. Ironically, in the zipline story, I remember before I came here, like 2 jobs ago when I first left Jersey, there was a worse than a zipline. Just was we were at the back of this property and we were doing a bunch of work, and all of a sudden I saw this huge vine. And in New Jersey, it's dead flat, so a vine really doesn't matter because where are you going to swing? It's flat. And so I was like, I could totally swing on this vine, and I ran and jumped on the vine, and I didn't look at what was below, and the property was above the Schuylkill.
Oh.
And I came out over a road into it. I didn't get to the Schuylkill, but I was definitely over an access road in someone's house, and it didn't break. So that was good.
Well,
I came back.
Success.
Yeah. I told Erin about that. She was
not pleased.
No.
Why am I not surprised?
We always swung on vines when we were kids. That's what we did all the time over creeks and good stuff.
That PA Granite job you referenced where you got a lot of your early machine time. I remember that job. It was kind of different for us because the customer just needed an operator and a machine, which was a little different for us at the time. Like we usually went in, we had a general scope of work. We had never sort of sat an operator and a machine in one place to work in that fashion. They had some interesting rules, right? I remember like there was some different stuff there about
MSHA. You had to deal with the mining.
The mining. Yep.
We sat there for a little while. I mean, the idea there on that job was that if we could do all this work, eventually you'd get to move the overburden. And we thought that, there would be a project there for us, but it never materialized based on their own, the quarry's own desire there's no money in them moving overburden unless they need to get to it. So you did that job. And did you go back one more time and we built a road in separate? Remember, didn't we build that big road in? That was a separate time we went back.
Yeah, I was kind of off and on there for a year and a half maybe. But we built that big lot out back, extended their lot, and built another ramp up to their back of their shop there.
Yeah, Justin has some really neat pictures back from that point, just because a quarry is an amazing thing to see. I mean, it's just, you can't grasp how deep of a hole it is until you actually, you stand in the bottom of it.
Yeah, I had a lot of respect for those guys working down there in that quarry, all year long, snow, rain, dropping. They used to drop their drills over the side onto ledges, and those guys would climb down on ladders and safety, of course, the harnesses and stuff, but just drill through the walls, and it was pretty insane.
Yeah.
Impressive. Where did you get into landfill, Just? When did you make that switch? Was it Secra or was it Lanchester? When was it?
It was Lanchester early on. I think it was our first cap there. I was off and on from there. Well, no, Secra. Yeah, I'm sorry. Secra was our first cap, the first job. Yeah, I was running rock truck, Conestoga landfill when we moved all that dirt, and then right to Secra, where I was in a truck there at Conestoga and a truck at Secra running rock truck, and then even back over to Lanchester after that.
When did you end up in the dozer or the hoe really for the first time on the landfill stuff?
I don't know. I think I might have hit a few pipes maybe, and then I was out of there for a little bit. But no, I can't really quite remember.
Yeah, what I sort of remember is there was a point at which Joe Stauffer was the guy we would use on the Gradall. And then when Joe moved to Special Projects, that's sort of how I remember that happening. When Joe moved to Special Projects, Justin jumped in and just took off with the Gradall. And that sort of became, you ran a lot of other things, but that took you out of being anywhere near trucks because you were always running the Gradall. So it just naturally translated then that Justin became like full-time, dozer track-hoe operator.
Yeah, after Joe went to the Special Projects side of things, Gary Rambo needed a guy to run that Gradall and expose intricate parts of that liner and stuff, and he kind of forced me into that, and that was another unique experience trying to learn how to run that piece of equipment. But it was needed, and as I practiced, I got better. So yeah.
And you kind of became the go-to guy for the Gradall for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yep. Because I don't think and that was sort of a specialized circumstance. We don't use Gradalls a lot in our other work, but at the landfill, it's been at least at that time was a good tool for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used it to build gabion letdowns, all that rock in those steel baskets, and that was a big help. And obviously, exposing tie-in for the liner and stuff, and we used it all the time.
So another interesting thing we could talk about is, we talk about landfill a fair amount, like as a company, because it's a big piece of what we do. but we don't talk about, the intricacies of it. And we don't have, we haven't had anybody from Landfill on the podcast, but it's one of those things. It was different, as we started to do it. When we did SECRA the first time, almost everybody in the whole company was on the job. And then as we started to grow, they became their own little division that just ran, and so there was years, probably 3 or 4 years, where those guys just worked, 8 to 10 of you. And, they were together every day. They were like their own little unit, and they really built a strong relationship between them. And in a lot of ways, I think it became almost like a family where they all got along. They all knew each other, but they also were always together, so there was infighting like you'd have with, with siblings. And and learning, and Gary was like the dad, you know what I mean? So Gary's like the dad, and Gary's an old school guy, you know what I mean? I always say the thing about Gary, and we're gonna have Gary on soon, but the thing about Gary that's funny is Gary'd slap you and then but appreciate you when you're not looking. Like Gary, there's so many times I go to Justin and I'd say like, oh man, Gary said you really did a nice job on this, and Justin would be like, what? Like, all he did was yell the whole time I was doing that. Like but that's Gary's way, you know what I mean? But Gary also is going to go buy you like pizza and Gatorade with his own money at times. You know what I mean? Because Gary he appreciates what everybody does. So it was interesting to watch the guys sort of learn and grow with Gary that way. And then as Justin and Cooper started to develop into leaders, how they took different paths. Cooper sort of took a similar path to Gary where he was a little bit harder. And that wasn't Justin's style, and it was one of the things that Justin and I talked for a couple years about Justin potentially becoming a foreman. There was always a joke. I'd show up and they'd say, oh, well, you want to talk to foreman number 2, Justin? And, but he didn't want to do it because he sort of viewed that like, this is how you have to be a foreman. And we talked many times and I said, like, there's a lot of ways to be a foreman. You just got to find a way that works for you. So I wanted to make sure we did talk about that. Like, how's it going? How are you feeling being in that role? What was it like now to have gone all the way from, labor didn't even know what our business line was to the point where you're, responsible for one of the bigger jobs we're running?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly easy transition because I was where I'm at now at the Rolling Hills landfill. I was there kind of off the record as a foreman. So it was just me and a couple other guys, which, made it easy for me, I guess, because, I was just doing my job, and I was developing relationships with the landfill, and they were working really well with me, helping me out when I needed stuff answered. And it was a fairly easy transition, I guess.
Yeah. And we don't, that's a relatively recent official transition in title.
Correct.
But it's something that you kind of were quietly and maybe even unknowingly working towards for a little while, right? What some of the transition there, and this is interesting because everyone sort of develops at a different pace. But I remember having conversations with Dan as we were starting to say like, hey, we think Justin's the right guy. Does Justin want to do this? And originally, sometimes the answer was, I don't know. I don't think he does.
Sometimes I still feel like I don't want to do it. It's tough for me because I have some personal issues where I'm never good enough. So I don't even want to. I have so much to learn, and I know that. So it's hard for me to make that move.
Sure, but I also think that those are attributes of a good leader, to recognize that they're not done learning, and to understand that their own imperfections can be a reflection of how they manage the job, etc. So
yeah, and what's funny about Justin in the scheme of the foreman role is you look at other guys and we can call them out. Like, it's not, I don't have to be shy about it. You know what I mean? Like, Cooper Jones wanted to be a foreman. Andrew Giese, he wanted to be a foreman. You know what I mean? Like, these guys, they may not have even been qualified, but they wanted to be in charge, whereas Justin, Brian and Ford and I would sit down and discuss, and I'd say, like, Justin has everything you need to be the foreman except the desire to be the foreman. Like, and he's not even against being in charge. He doesn't necessarily, and like, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like one of the hardest things for Justin is when I watch him have to be in the role of like disciplining someone, you know what I mean? Of like holding someone accountable to the same standard that Justin holds himself. and that's where he feels like, is it really fair is almost what I feel like. And I always said to him, it's not, I already know the answer. I'm just, how many times have I said that to you? I already know the answer. I just need you to tell me that you agree that that's the answer without me telling you that that's the answer. And then we can act on it. Because a lot of times the employee knows, Justin knows, I know, Ford knows, but we need to put it in paper so we can make it official and say, okay, here's what we did. Here's what needs to be better.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about Justin, the individual, not Justin at work. So give us just, the bio, Justin.
Well, next month I turn 43, which is weird because it's, I think, a day after is when I first initially started working here 9 years ago, a day after my birthday. My wife's name is Steph. She's a school teacher at Ole. She's an amazing wife and an even more amazing mother to my son Samuel, who's 10, and my daughter Anna, who is 7. And they both go to Robinson Elementary over here in Twin Valley School District. I'm from the area, probably like 8 miles down the road near Hopewell, or French Creek State Park, and have 2 brothers and a sister. There were 6 of us, fairly big family. My brother lives in Texas. My younger brother lives in Phoenixville. That's my older brother lives in Texas, and my sister lives in California. And all just country kids growing up in this area.
Well, and they all escaped Berks County besides you. So
yeah. I don't know why they were just scared, I guess.
They couldn't hang out.
No, my brother's still around. My younger brother, so him and I are, he's in Phoenixville, so him and I are real tight.
Yeah. So the 2 funny things there. First, did you catch that Justin said he had a fairly large family with 6 kids? Because that's how you know it's Lancaster, Berks County. It's
because that's actually a medium-large family for this area, right?
Yeah. Where I'm from, that's a gigantic family, and you're an Irish Catholic. I got this one already.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
And then the other thing that's funny is your little brother bought the house next to my mother-in-law, or in front of.
Yeah,
right?
in front of. Yeah, that's right.
I forget who realized that first. I don't remember if they realized it because I might have had the
Garth was suspicious when he saw a Berg truck over there.
Yeah, so I think it was back when I had PU12, which was logo.
Oh, yep.
And I would, stop over there on the way home because I still lived in Lower Marion, and then Garth was there, and then that's how I found out that they lived right next to each other.
I said, no, you cannot do anything to him. He's the boss. You got to be cool.
So we didn't mention at all there that Justin plays basketball, which is another thing that I know. Justin supposedly could actually shoot. He was a good shooter. That's what I've been told.
Supposedly could actually shoot.
That's what I've heard. I heard Justin could shoot.
I could shoot.
Yeah. So are you a 3-point guy or what?
Yeah, all around jump shooter.
Okay.
Sometimes 3-pointers. Yeah, sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah, whatever.
He hasn't made his way. You're not in the Ford League though, correct? You don't.
No, I was, but I have a little bit of some hip issues with my arthritis. So
43's got arthritis.
43, and so I can't move around as quick as I used to. Although I would like to.
Are you saying you're not as fast as Ford on a basketball court?
Probably not right now.
All right. Ford's going to be so happy with his podcast.
Ford is fast. I don't know if you know. He's pretty quick.
He's fast for a large man.
He's quick.
Yeah.
He's definitely quick.
And so you played basketball.
Yes.
Do you coach basketball? I know your kids are into some sports.
No, I helped coach his little league team.
Okay.
My son's little league team this past year.
How did they do?
Yes.
How did the little league team do?
We did great.
All right.
We didn't win the whole thing like JD did, but I know that's where you're going with this conversation.
I didn't say that. I was just asking how the kids did.
We want to send a shout out to JD. I guess. Yeah,
JD and
way to go, way to win. I was first base coach, and our team was up to bat because I was the first base coach, and our head coach's son hit a foul ball to me, and I caught it. This was one of the final games, and it was a bad situation. Nobody was very happy with me. I had to call the kid out, and the inning was over, and we lost that game. So,
oh man!
So the JD makes fun of me because of that. He was out because I caught the ball.
Because you,
and I was just doing like a natural thing, like helping out.
Yeah. They hit it at you. You caught it.
Foul ball hit it at me. I was just like bloop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
That seems harsh to call him out there, doesn't it? JD really following the rules for.
Dude, the ump at the time was very upset with me. He was.
All right.
Anyway,
hey, he knew the rules and he was going to hold you accountable. So Yeah.
That's all you can ask for, I guess.
When did you get into music, Justin? You've been playing guitar for a long time?
Since high school.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I played drums. Started taking drum lessons when I was like 11 or 12, and my parents made all of us play an instrument, and then if we didn't choose one, they forced one on us. So I was the only one that kind of stuck with the music. All my brothers and my sister are very talented with music, but I kind of stuck with it. And then my buddies were playing guitar in high school, and I was like, I want to do that. So I picked it up and I taught myself how to play. So
So six siblings.
no, not six of us all together. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Five siblings.
No, 4 of us all together.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
4 children.
I am so sorry.
well, that makes it a medium-large family now.
I'm
That
so
makes-
sorry.
that makes
that
more
was
sense.
that was. You're right. I was a little confusing.
You were a little confused because I was starting to picture 6 kids playing instruments.
No.
Right? Because I
No.
mean,
That sounds like a rock band. Yeah.
in a successful sense, it sounds like a rock band. In a realistic sense, it sounds like a complete cacophony of
Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm picturing Mara was learning to play a violin. So they say it didn't learn playing the violin. It learned like she was trying to like kill a wild animal or something.
Well, I thought 6 kids playing music. That sounds like
The Partridge Family.
well, like the whole church choir or something. Like
They're completely set. That's what I was wondering. Like,
Well,
how did this go?
We did that every Sunday night. My parents would give us a bunch of these little instruments, and then we'd go in the living room and we'd make noise and sing songs. So I guess maybe that's where the love of music came
That's
from.
where it came
But
from.
sorry about that confusion. Yes.
Because I was wondering why he only told me where 3 siblings were.
the other 3 he doesn't talk to.
But
was,
he didn't say we had anything off limits, but I figured if he didn't mention the other 2 siblings, I shouldn't mention them either.
right.
Yeah.
It turns out they don't exist.
They don't
Yeah.
exist. Yeah.
They're just in my head.
It's
Yeah.
just- that's a separate issue we'll deal with on another podcast with Justin.
I take them to work with me every day.
They're playing instruments you can't hear. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And then I know you have a passion for some photography too. You've done some pictures
Correct.
for us and for some of our events. But I follow your Instagram page. You like
Cool.
you like doing a lot of cityscape, landscape,
Landscapes and cityscapes and yeah.
And is that something I've only known about this for I don't know 3 or 4 years, but has that always been a passion of yours? Or?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, well, I don't know. Just kind of came about when smartphones came about, and
Sure.
you could do all sorts of fancy stuff with them. People said I had an eye for photography, so I just would start taking pictures, and then I started an Instagram account, whatever.
Yeah.
So
What
now
is
I
your
just like to
Instagram
do it.
account, Jess?
Here's a shout out to my Instagram account. It's Imagine Reading.
There you go.
Imagine Reading.
Imagine
Hey, I've seen this before. Like people put their Instagram tags on their vehicles. We should get him like an Imagine Reading
goodness.
tag for his truck.
There
So,
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll put it right over the Berg symbol. No.
Oh, come on now. We're trying to help him out. And he's going to
I'm
burn me
just
and
kidding.
cover the logo.
I'm just kidding.
When so as a
That's not
photographer,
right.
do you get sort of like designated to be the event photographer now when you're going places,
Like
or do you shy away from
not
that?
really. I shy away from it.
Yeah.
I've had numerous people ask me if I would like to sell my stuff or if I'd like to photograph weddings and I always figured if I'd made it like a business or something, it would take the enjoyment away of it, the fun of it, the chill away aspect of it. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. If you had to photograph something, you wouldn't be photographing what you want.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I hear you.
So
Yeah.
maybe years down the road, I have a room at my house. I'd make into a photography place, sell my photos out of there. If I wanted to do that sometime.
You could just sell them online,
Yeah, this is true. It's so easy nowadays.
You don't have to invite
You
people
don't-
to
you
your
don't
home.
have to invite
Yeah,
people
you don't
to
need to
your
have
home.
a storefront. Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe just like a room for myself.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
Somewhere to
know.
work
okay.
on.
Yeah, somewhere to
Yeah,
work
okay.
on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
that's more
place to
that's more
tinker.
my speed.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Here's another thing. So Justin was one of the guys that went down to Georgia
Yes.
when we went with the
Komatsu,
Komatsu
right?
thing.
Mhm.
So, and Justin was the first one, the easiest one to get to do karaoke was Justin. Other people was a little more difficult. Ben definitely did not do it, is what I'm supposed to say, right? No,
No,
he
no.
did
Ben
not-
did not sing really loud.
He did not sing multiple songs very loud.
No.
But that's Justin was down there and he did. What song did you pick to do first? Do you remember this?
I did a Metallica song.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one?
I did Whiskey in a Jar.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was when I lived in Westchester, which was years ago. That was when we did karaoke. That was my go-to song.
That was your jam.
That
huh?
was my go-to
Okay.
song.
See, what I should have done is had the guitar and play.
Oh yeah. Is that on
Put-
your
is
CD?
that
I
on-
mean,
can you play that
no.
live right now,
No,
Justin?
Whiskey in a Jar is not on my CD.
Can Whiskey in a Jar be played on that guitar that's sitting over there?
No.
All right.
I never like to play other people's music. Only my
All right.
own music.
All right.
He sings other people's
He
music.
sings other people's
Doesn't
music.
play
Well,
that.
yeah.
But we can't turn this into karaoke.
No
podcast,
cover
no,
songs.
sorry.
So,
No
okay.
cover songs.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you want the fan base to know before
Oh,
we
goodness.
before we wrap this one up?
Or you could also Ben Horning here. You know Ford younger, so you could also.
Dude, I can't remember when I first met Ford. I remember meeting the family across the street, logging the woods out. And our family, we were gleaners. We gleaned corn and we gleaned firewood. And I just remember the Bergs over there. And I was like, wow, that was my first taste of big equipment. I was probably 10 years old. And they were just romping through the forest. And that's when we would go over and clean up all their firewood afterwards, anything left over, And, and then Ford and I went to church together and palled around when we were younger. And yeah, so it's been pretty much a lifetime experience with Berg in one way or another. Yeah. So, just very fortunate to be a part of this company. I've had a lot of help, encouragement, lots of friends along the way. Continue to make more friends. It's been a good experience.
Cool. Well, we're certainly glad that this is a place you've chosen to be for 9+ years, and we
Thank you.
definitely look forward to the next 9. So
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Justin.
yeah, thanks, Justin.
Thanks for having me on.
Great place to wrap it up.
Cool.
Thanks for being with us today, folks, and we hope you join in for another podcast on another day.